Hello everyone, I'm Shubham and you are watching my channel Blue Logic. So this is the series that I'm working on, which is making apps that automate things. So in this series we have created many apps that automate our daily life. Okay, for example, we have created WhatsApp automation app that will send automatically messages to your WhatsApp, or also we have scheduled WhatsApp messages so that at particular time they will get sent to whomever we have choose as the sending contact. So now in this video we will look at how we send messages programmatically to WhatsApp groups, because in previous video we can only send messages to the particular contacts but not to the groups. So in this video we will discuss that. So if you are new to my channel and haven't subscribed to it, please do, and also click on the bell icon so that whenever I upload a new video you will get a notification. Let's get started. So as usual I'll tell you the process of creating this app. So as usual I'll discuss how we will create this app using these graphics. Okay, so first of all we will create the UI which will have the three text fields. First will be for title, then second will be for the message, and third will be to take the name of the group where we want to send the message. And then there will be these two buttons. One will be to send the message, that means which will start the process of sending the message to the group that we have choose, and the second button will be to turn off the WhatsApp accessibility service. So now you may have a question why we have created this extra button. So first of all, many of you have commented that we don't know how to turn off the accessibility service, because whenever we turn it on it's keep on running. Okay, so whenever somebody opens the WhatsApp, even if you type a normal message, still it clicks on the send button to send that message. So previously we have find our own way that we added some extra text to detect if that message is sent from our app or not, but this will be the new way. So here we will use some shared preferences where we will add one flag that is on, and then we will use that flag to know if we have to keep on using accessibility or not. So what will happen when user click this button, that is send message on group, our app will send the normal intent with the message and the title. This intent will be exactly the normal intent that we send to other apps with the package name of WhatsApp. Okay, so what that intent will do, that intent will open the WhatsApp with this activity where all the contacts will be loaded. Then let's consider if we have to do it manually, then what we will do, we will search that name whomever we want to send the message. Let's say we have to send the message on the group and the name of that group is group. Okay, so we will search group by clicking on this icon, and then we'll type group there, and then that group will load here and we will click on that group, and then this screen will open. Okay, after that we will type our message. We don't have to type actually, because when we send intent from some other app, that message will appear automatically here. We just have to click on send button. So we have to automate this task. For that we use accessibility service will click on this search icon, then type your message automatically, and then when WhatsApp searches your group and list it, it will click on that group, and then when this screen will open it will click the send button. So if you are new to my channel and if you don't know what accessibility is, so I'll suggest you to watch my previous video where I have explained you in details what accessibility service is. Now let's see how we do that programmatically. I have already started one project and it has one layout. I have already created the layout. It is pretty basic layout where I have added these two text fields. One is for entering the message and other one is for the group. Okay, and then I have added these two buttons, that is to send the message, and other one is to turn off the WhatsApp service. Okay, and also I have created one summary so that it will be easier for us to code it, and I'll also share this with you so that you can create the app easily. Okay, so first step, we have already created the layout and added the buttons to it. The third thing is to create WhatsApp accessibility service. So I'll just right click on here and Java class create accessibility service. So let's name it like WhatsApp accessibility service, and then we have to extend it to accessibility service class. So I'll just move it here and then I'll paste the accessibility service. So now we have to code in this main method, that is on accessibility event. So whatever event happens, we will get that event directly in this method, that is on accessibility event. The next thing is to register that created accessibility service in our manifest file. So let's go to the manifest file and register it. This is just a general way of registering accessibility service. In my previous video I have explained you in detail that what this code really do, so I'll suggest you to watch that video. So here we have to name our service class, then we have to add configuration for our accessibility service. So I'll create the configuration. Let's go to the code and we'll paste our default configurations. Also in last video I have explained these configurations in very much details, so you can watch the video and you will get the details about it. So for a summary, I'll tell you that the main thing is this one, that is package name, where we mention the package name of the app. So here we are mentioning the WhatsApp, as our accessibility will be focusing on the WhatsApp only. And then this flag, that is to retrieve content of the window. I have set it to true so that we can retrieve content of the screen. So let's get back to our summary. So our sixth step will be to create a preference manager. So as I already told you, preference manager is to store our flag which will tell us if our accessibility service is running or not running. So for that we will use this variable, that is on. Okay, so let's create one more class for preference manager. Let's name it preference manager. Here we have to create one public constructor and we have to accept that is we have to accept the context, and then we have to create the editor field for our shared preferences. So I'll just create the variable for preference and the editor. Then we need these two methods. One is to set is on tag, and it will accept the boolean, and then we have to set it. And then the second method is to return this flag, public boolean get is on, and this will return the boolean. Okay, so editor.put boolean and editor.commit, and after that editor preference.get boolean. So we'll just create one variable to store this string, and the name of this variable is on, and the default will be false. So we have set our preference manager, we just have to call it from our main activity. And also we have to register all these text fields and buttons. So I'll just add it, that is edit text and find view by ID, and then I'll just duplicate it. The second one is text view group, and then next is the button, and the name of the button is let's say button send, equals to find view by id dot id dot find button send, and then I'll just duplicate it to another button, that is button off. Now we just have to add listeners to this button, that is on click listeners. Set on click listeners, new view on click listeners, and then the same goes for the other button, that is button off. Set on new on click listener. Alright, so now we will have the message, and another thing will be the group. Okay, let's check what we have to do in the next step. So next step is we have to create one class or one field that it will be a static field. Let's say in our main activity we'll just create, instead of main activity we'll just create another class, that is static configuration class. Static config, and here we will just add one static field, public static string group name. That's it. Okay, so when user will click on this button, we have to set static config dot group name to the group name that we got from the user. So static config dot group name equals to text view group dot get text dot to string, and after that we just have to send intent. Okay, I will do that afterwards. So now we have to check if accessibility is on or not. Okay, for that we will use the general code or the general method that we learned in our last video for sending the WhatsApp message. I'll just use the same code in here, and then we have to create this method that is to check for is accessibility service on or not. So I'll just paste that code there. Okay, that's it, and here we have to mention the class of the accessibility service. So this is the class for the accessibility service. Next thing, to send a normal intent to the WhatsApp. So if you can see here, I have just created a single or simple intent with the action send and the type, that is plain text type. I just set here the package and then the subject and the text. Okay, so this is just a normal method of sending intent to any messenger. We just have to use it here, and this will be text view message will be the message that we took from the user. Now next thing is to code our accessibility service. So as we have discussed, what we have to do is to click on that button which we use to search. Okay, so the first thing we will check if the user window, that is the root window, is null or not. If it is null, then we will return our accessibility service, and then we check if our accessibility is on or not. If it is on, then that's fine, but if it is not on, then we have to return. Okay, so let's go to our accessibility service and then paste it. Our preference manager is this one, so I just change it to preference manager, and the method is get is on. So whenever user click on this button, that is button send, we just have to turn on our accessibility service. So for that purpose, I'll just create one instance of preference manager here, equals to new preference manager, and then we have to pass application context to it. reference manager dot set is on equals to true, and when user will click on the button off, we just have to false. So the second thing is to get the variable of root node info, that is the default window. As we know that any window has multiple nodes. Nodes means, let's say the button is the node, and then there will be linear layout or another button or text field. So these all are the nodes. So I'll just shift it there. I'll just close some of the things because we don't need them anymore. Okay, so we just need access to the root node info. Okay, after root node info, we just have to do is to click on the send button, like for the normal messages. Like for the last time what we did, we just sent the intent and then it directly opens in the chat, and message is already there. What we needed to do, we just have to click on the send button. So for that purpose we'll use this code. So I'll explain what this code does. So first thing what this code does is it gets the node whose ID or which ID is sent. Okay, and then all the list it maintain in this variable, and then here I have checked if send message node list is empty or not null, and then what I did is get the first node from this list, which will be the button to send a message, and then I check if send message is visible to the user. If it is visible to the user, then I just clicked on it using action click. That's what I did. Next step will be to check if search button is on the screen or not. Okay, so whenever we send the intent, the first screen will open with the list of the contact and the search icon in the top. So it will definitely be on the screen. If it is not on the screen, we'll simply return. Okay, so you just have to add brackets to it. Okay, so here I have take all the list of the nodes where ID equals to menu item underscore search, which is just basically the ID of that button, the search icon. Okay, and then here I check if it is null or if it is empty. So if it is not empty or null, then I just went inside and then I get the first item from the list in one variable, that is search icon, and then simply clicked on that icon. And whenever we clicked on that item, it opens the text field to enter search text. Okay, so we have to write that code here because this will happen when the click is successful. Okay, now what we need to do is to check if that text field for searching is available or not. If it is available, then we will just put it in one variable, that is search text variable. And then the second thing that I have checked is if our group name is null or not. If it is not null, that means group name is present in our static configuration file here. Then we have to bundle it, and when we bundle it, and then we can perform the action using this bundle. This bundle will contain the group name. Okay, and the action will be action set text. It is just a set text method, but we cannot call set text directly in accessibility. Instead we have to use this thing, that is perform action, and then the name of the action and the argument. Argument will be simply the text that we have to set to that text field, so which will be obviously the group name. After that, our accessibility service will sleep for 2 seconds because WhatsApp may need more time to search for the text. So because of that, I have added this thing. According to the speed of your WhatsApp, you can change it, or you can give user the option to change its speed or the sleeping time. Okay, so when the search will happen and then all the contacts with the name will be listed, we have to click on the contact. Okay, so that is the next logic. Now we will get our group in contact list, we will click on it and send a message. Okay, so the row with the ID, contact picker row ID, will be in this list. Okay, and we will check if that list is empty or null, and if it is not null or the empty, then we'll just get first item of the list in this variable and click on it. And before clicking, we'll check if it is clickable or not. If it is clickable, then we will perform the action click. After clicking on this, our logic that we have written above here, this one, click on the send button, and obviously our message will get automatically sent on that group. So this is the way we can send messages automatically, or let's say programmatically, on WhatsApp group. And this last thing is to backlink. Okay, so we just have to click back so that we can get back to our application instead of staying on the WhatsApp. So we can write this code after this if statement here. Also, we can use this in every else statement, that is if, and if this if is not present, then we can just perform action back. So we can do it everywhere. So whenever some if condition fails, it will back click and get back to our application and not stay there. So that is the main goal. So I have installed the application in my phone. Let's check if it is working or not. Okay, so first thing we have to enter is the message. So I'll just write the message hello team and group name, which will be the group for me, and then we have to click on the button that is send message. You see, it automatically sent the message successfully and also back clicked on it. So this is how we did it. It is successful. We programmatically sent message on the WhatsApp group. So I am so happy to announce that we have also launched our website, that is nutshell.genuinebridge.com, where I upload all the codes that we do in our Android automation course. So you just simply have to subscribe to this course by paying 350 rupees, which is very lowest cost possible. And here, if you go in materials, I have uploaded all the codes. For the current video, I'll upload the codes in this section only. After that, you will get exclusive access to the content. This website is really easy to use, so I hope nobody will get any problem in this thing. Secondly, there are many courses. I personally teach this Android app development and core Java content, and in this course there are many videos. Like currently I have uploaded the 23 lectures there, And this is not only the recorded videos but also the live course with 50 plus hours content. If you want to learn the Android programming, you can simply subscribe to this course, and our new batch for the live content is starting from the 1 August. So you can simply join and learn the complete Android development. So in this course I'm covering all the syllabus from the introduction, from the basics of Java, and then the complete views, then fragments, and the recycler view, look and feel, and then how to use this SQLite, shared preferences, creating app using Firebase, and how to use APIs and Wally, everything. So everything that beginner need to know, you can learn from here. So I'll suggest you to visit here and subscribe to this course. And one thing I like to tell you is that this course is about 50 hours long, and plus there will be a practice session for 10 hours, and this is live lectures using video conferencing, plus there are recorded sections too. And also, as you are my subscribers, I like to give you a 20% discount. Use the code, that is Blue Logic code, and you will get 20% discount on any of the course on this website. So you can subscribe to any of the course. So thank you everyone, that's it for the video, and happy coding. See you in my next video.